My name's James. I've been a police officer for about 10 years. I transferred in from Kent back in September. I've been a detective for about 7 years. Worked predominantly in CID, so worked in criminal investigation, dealt with a wide range of investigations from low-level thefts up into attempted murder. The decision to transfer to Surrey was because predominantly my family were here, so I wanted to become close to my family, but also wanted a fresh start, wanted new opportunities. When I inquired to transfer to Surrey, everybody was very welcoming. The process couldn't have been easier. Everyone was very supportive, and I think from the process of putting my application in to actually being offered a place, it was about 4 or 5 weeks. It was really, really quick. I've been with Surrey for probably about 7 months, and I've worked in the SIU department, so that's a safeguarding investigation unit. That unit would cover domestic violence, it would cover adult and child protection, safeguarding as in liaising with social services, but also safeguarding and domestic violence support for victims of crime or survivors of domestic abuse. The investigative strands, as far as I'm aware, because the force is smaller, perhaps there might not be as many opportunities if one was transferring from the Met or a larger police force. They would technically be, or they would be, criminal investigation, serious and organised crime, complex abuse, major crime, cold case review. A lot of those departments are centralised up at headquarters. Some are moving out to various locations. But even though there might not be as many forces or as many areas for a detective to work or move into, the benefits of being a detective with Surrey, in my experience, having transfer from other forces, much greater. There's greater recognition for being a detective, which in my experience is quite unusual. When I joined the police, I wanted to be a detective. I spent about 3 years in uniform before being able to move into CID, working in CID, making a good name for myself, and then obviously passing the exam, doing the coursework, building the portfolio, and then moving on in that respect. I think being a detective is something that you should aspire to be. In my opinion, and it's only my opinion, it makes you a better police officer. You're able to operate at a greater level, I would argue. Again, just my opinion. And in Surrey, I think that's recognised. It's recognised financially because there is an extra payment for being a detective. I think it's about £500. There's an extra payment for working in SIU. If you're in a position where you're able to tutor or mentor other learner detectives to get them through the detective process, there's an additional payment for that. There's obviously the weighted or southeast allowance, and there is a payment for being an accredited detective as well. So financially, I'm in a better position having transferred, living in Surrey. And obviously I appreciate there is a higher cost of living in Surrey, but that is weighed off and that is balanced against the financial reward and recompense you receive as an accredited detective. The workload is heavy. I'm not going to say it isn't. It is stressful, but stress and pressure is all relative, and the stress and pressure you might feel working in response or working in a different department, working in safeguarding as a detective and having had a great deal of experience in Kent, which is traditionally a busier force, I think has equipped me with that ability to manage other people's expectations and manage those around me regarding service delivery and what a realistic expectation of the work is. And certainly it leaves a lot of the stress and pressure that one would traditionally face. There is a heavy workload because you're dealing with safeguarding. In Surrey, there isn't a specific domestic violence team, child protection team, adult abuse investigation team, as there would be in other forces, as there is in Kent, my previous force that I transferred to. However, there are more people on the team. The work is dished out between that group of people, and there is the opportunity for you to undertake courses, undertake specialisms where you would lean towards one strand of investigation. So that's taken into consideration as well. If someone was wanting to transfer to Surrey, I would say do it. My family are in Surrey, my friends are in Surrey. It's a beautiful county. You're 45 minutes from London, you're 45 minutes from the coast. Again, it's a great standard of living, beautiful countryside. The people are nice. Even the suspects and criminals we deal with are nice as well, which is bizarre, which is very strange coming from Kent, which again is a very adversarial force. And that's not just with the people, that's with the police officers as well. And it's taken me a good 6 months to realise that you don't need to have quite a hard standpoint. You don't need to be quite so adversarial with your colleagues. People here are nice to each other. And that's quite a strange thing to get used to. But I would heartily recommend it. I love working for Surrey. I've had a great time working for Surrey. Yes, there's been points where I've thought that I wasn't happy with my decision, but that's not the decision to transfer. That's the decision with the work and the politics of the police, which is the same everywhere, which is frustrating. But working for Surrey, your opinion is valued, and there is a lot more freedom and openness to speak to people and officers of rank about your concerns and about the pressures that you're under. So I would recommend transferring to Surrey. It's a great place to work, it's a great place to live, and I think if you did, you wouldn't regret it.